I don't see Raheem having to move on at this particular time in his career.
Possibly not, but where's the queue for him? With the greatest respect, you know, we don't see Raheem Sterling being indexed to Real Madrid. We hear Mahrez being indexed to Real Madrid. We don't hear Raheem Sterling. Obviously, he's a world-class player, according to our mate Trev, but by definition, his form this season hasn't been the greatest. So I'm not surprised that whoever's speaking on his behalf and telling us how wonderful he is off the pitch is suggesting that he may well stay in Manchester. Because
do you think he's world-class, Simon?
Oh no, not even in the same universe as world class. As people, when you talk about world class, you talk about Ronaldo, you talk about Lionel Messi. Now, of course, Trevor will say no, that's not world class. That's world class, right? But world class is world class, and Raheem Sterling is not world class. He's a good domestic player.
Trevor, is that harsh on Raheem?
I have to disagree, Jim. I think form is temporary and class is permanent. And over the years, he's shown that he is class. He's got a 1 in 3 goal-scoring record at Manchester City, and that's a huge improvement from his time at Liverpool. He's already played 421 games, 137 goals. He's scoring for fun for England. He's been really quite important to the England squad over the last couple of years. And for me, I can see him moving. I think, you know, the post-match interview when the interviewer, I thought quite rudely said, does this vindicate your start? You know, MBE as well, and just winning the league. He doesn't have to answer that question. Of course, listen, if he didn't go into that England squad and train his socks off and earn the right to start for Gareth, he wouldn't have started. So I thought it was a little bit underhanded with that question. But I think at the same time, I don't think he feels as valued at Manchester City as maybe he should. And I've got an inkling that he may leave. And listen, just going against what Simon said, I think there'll be a huge queue. If Raheem Sterling does what he started in this European Championship, plays really well, continues his form, and then goes into the summer potentially looking at a move, I think there'll be a queue of top clubs.
I mean, Alex, you're in amongst players all the time, top players as well. Do you go with Simon in this or do you go with Trevor?
Again, I think I'm probably leaning towards Simon.
Keep it up.
This is not a comfortable situation to be in. He played 28 Premier League games for Manchester City out of their 38 last season, so I don't think he's on the periphery by any stretch of the imagination, but by his high standards, he did fall short. I'm just pondering as I sit here, Trev, would he get into the Manchester United team? I'm not convinced he would, you know.
Well, I think if you're going to go on form, I think it's quite easy to say that Rashford's, you know, as much as he's done so well, not just for the community of Manchester, but for the whole country, I think his form has struggled. And for me, if you said to a lot of Manchester United fans, would you have Raheem Sterling in that side in front of Rashford? I think quite a lot of them would say yes. So for me, I would. But again, you seen his class the other day. He didn't have an amazing game. He scored a goal. His movement gave all kinds of problems to Croatia. And when he's in tight areas, he has got the ability to just burst away from them players. So, yeah, a confident Raheem Sterling. I think he'll get confidence from that game, from that performance, from that match-winning goal. And look out, Scotland, because I think he will really relish that challenge.
There was talk, Jim, when obviously Manchester City were heavily linked with Harry Kane, that Raheem Sterling could be used as some kind of make weight.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced Sterling would want to go to Tottenham.
Think about the question. I mean, Trevor's probably drunk too many Sagres Portuguese beer to be objective, right? But the question that was asked, as much as I often steer into the narrative of lambasting journalists, everybody was suggesting, right, that Sterling's had a very average season. He hasn't been picked a lot for his club side at times and dropped out of of a lot of games. So it's not a difficult question to ask. Have you justified? He didn't say vindicated. Have you justified your selection?
Yeah, but I think that's for people. When I look at that, Simon, sorry to interject, but when I look at that tells me about somebody who doesn't really understand the dynamics of a team chemistry. Now, when you're playing a team, you can't have everyone who's lovely technical player, loves the ball to feet, great technique. You have to have players that have different strengths. Now, we all know that Raheem Sterling has a strength that many players in the England squad don't have, which is raw, undiluted, ridiculous speed. That caused the majority of problems against Croatia by breaking the line and making runs behind. So for me, that just comes from a journalist that doesn't quite understand. If you play 4 or 5 players in them forward positions, none of them who like running in behind who've got pace to burn. It's going to be too easy for the Croatians.
But also, with respect,
that.
Trevor, you pick players in certain positions not just based upon their technical ability or the things that they can give. You pick them on form as well. And if you look at reputed managers like Jose Mourinho, who aren't idiot journalists that don't know what they're looking at, he didn't pick Sterling in his side.
Who didn't?
I don't think anybody did, to be honest. And I think the question
I
is
did.
fair.
Mourinho.
Yeah, I did.
talkSPORT's
put him in my
Mourinho.
side. Just for that
Yeah,
one
but
reason.
you would do, Trev.
Well said, Cookie.
I could
Well
quite
said.
easily have put Rashford in that position, but I just feel Raheem Sterling makes them runs more freely without being asked to do it. He just does it naturally.
The man has come back from Portugal. He's in isolation, and you and Jordan are picking on him, Alex. It's quite unfair witnessing this.
Jim White and Simon Jordan, Monday to Thursday morning, 10 till 1. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.